right. So yeah, who am I? Yeah, I'm a writer and an editor. That's the day job, and a husband and a father. And I've got two lovely girls and a beautiful wife. And I love to travel, and have always loved all of the arts. My real sweet spot is as an arts writer, as an arts editor. That isn't always the easiest gig to tie down in media. And then, yeah, as a musician, I started many years ago. I had the childhood "you will play piano" scenario. Fortunately, with an aunt of my father's who was just the most wonderful lady in the whole world, and you know, got me just enthusiastic about music, just as a piano, as a in a theoretical sense as well, you know, learning all of the angles and figuring out all of that. That was as a youngster, and as a young boy, discipline is not, it just isn't. So yeah, practicing was always an issue. And then I started that when I was 7, and about 9 years old, I started playing football. And yeah, that got me carried away in a whole different scenario. So I started playing league football and all sorts of things, and gave it up, the piano, and then picked up a guitar as a 13-year-old, taught myself, and here we are. Yeah, started writing songs at about 16, and that was a long time ago. I'm not going to tell you how long, but many years. Perfect lyrics are a goal I'm still aiming for, but I think it's probably two sort of main answers there. One is kind of lived experience. So whatever it is, you know, you just in the course of your life, a relationship or a trip you went on, or something you observed, or something like that, and you can just that's the key that unlocks the thing, and then you can sort of unpack that as you go. And then a second sort of major thread would be just playing with words. So often, again, in the course of anything, in the shower, at the shops, whatever, during a conversation, reading a book, there's just a few words, there's a phrase or a saying or a something that just sparks. And I'll put that down on my phone, and I've got a long list of potential song lyrics in my phone. And I'll work from there. So again, separately, usually I'll get a hook idea or a melody idea. And again, the phone is a wonderful tool because you can just head to the corner quickly and hum it into the recorder and get it down so you don't forget it. And then you see what words fit the scan, fit the phrasing of the music. And I think to your thing of maybe your perfect lyrics, or as close as I'll ever get, sometimes it's the music that guides the meter and the rhythm of the words. And then you sort of start trying to figure out how to build on your original phrase or theme or whatever it is, but using that kind of meter and feel of the music, and maybe the music is angry or fast or slow or whatever, and that will often just take where you go. You know, just hello, we've just met as a random, just in my head thing now, and then it's a nice slow thing. So maybe that one will develop into something romantic. Usually fictional, but you know, it won't be a story necessarily that I've heard, although it might be. Or hello, we've just met, and now whatever the music idea I just had is very quick and energetic, and it'll be another idea. So it's those kind of things inform each other, and then you get to the end. And quite often I don't actually know, once I've finished it, quite often I don't really know what it's about yet. Which is an interesting thing as a performer, because you sort of find yourself in different headspaces and heart spaces as you go. And you know, the song can mean something different 1 month or year to the next, and one gig to the next, and something which can be quite challenging. Yeah. I think that it sounds sort of as a very boring one word answer, but emotion. I think yeah, I'm not the most technically gifted musician, and a lot of that sadly is down to laziness on my part. You get those guys who've practiced 8 hours a day for 20 years and can play anything, and I'm not those guys. But I can sing well, and I can ensure I can communicate emotion through my voice, and I think that's maybe my most effective performance option. But also just through the words, as we've spoken about, through the stories that are told, we can often tell, or we can often communicate. I can often communicate something that touches somebody, and I won't know necessarily. The greatest privilege of my music career is having two separate people with two separate songs over the course of years come up to me and say, your song stopped me committing suicide. And that's just that alone for me makes me feel like a hugely successful musician. I don't know if huge selling bands have ever had somebody come up to them and say that. But it also obviously it just means so much that you really not only made somebody feel sad or melancholy or happy or joyful or something today, but that you've actually really changed somebody's life for good. Yeah, that's an amazing privilege. So the collaboration thing was something a few years ago. Most of my career, I've been a solo songwriter. I had some bands early on in the 90s, and but most of my songwriting career has been solo output. And then a couple of years ago, because I hadn't collaborated, I thought I need to learn. I need to teach myself something. I need to get up to speed with this, and obviously it could open up so many opportunities. But also just from an intellectual point of view, just how does this work? So I started a process then, and people had mentioned they were keen, and lots of amazing people. Just because of working as an arts writer, I've come into contact with a lot of people. So Cito and I have written from Bonneburg. Cito and I have written something which is not quite finished, but it's getting there. A friend of mine, Stefan Post, who's played in a number of bands. He's a wonderful session guitarist. We've written 3 songs together as a little duo called the Van Dyke Parks Board. John Ellis, wonderful, now Cape Town, he was Durban. He was in a band called 363, huge rock success here and in the States. We've written a song together. Another friend of mine who's a musical director, his name is Paul Elliott. We've written something, and there's ongoing potential. Neill Solomon from The Passengers, we've written something together. So wonderful opportunities to learn, to see how things work, to see what my strengths are in a songwriting context, and to be able to learn where I don't have the strength yet. Loving that part of it. It is also challenging because if you're on your own, you do what you like, and then it's done. And if you're not, and often there's been things where I think the song might be done, and somebody else doesn't think it's done, and who knows how to get it done. And obviously scheduling and all of that kind of stuff. It's regardless of Zoom and all these other things. It's wonderful to be in the room with somebody. So those are ongoing challenges. So I'm kind of late releasing solo stuff, and then maybe a Van Dyke Parksport song, and then whatever it might be. And a lot of the collaborations I've released as solo projects in terms of the recording. I also work in another sense of collaboration with a guy called Ralph Martin. He's in Ballyhoo. Wonderful producer, produced Nego Groove and others back in the day. And so he's an engineer and a producer, so that's a different kind of collaboration. We work together often. So a new song out called Present Tense, which is available now on all streaming platforms. That's a solo song, and then the collaborations will come out. In the streaming world, it's very difficult to make people enthusiastic about albums. So essentially, put out all these collaboratively written songs over the past months and years now, a couple of years, and maybe hoping I can repackage that as a sort of album. I love albums, and I think also if you want to listen to a set of perspectives and views from a single source, I think albums are very interesting. So I might be able to repackage that and get that re-released, but it's also navigating the what works better in a digital world, in a streaming world, in a world where people might not listen to a whole song, never mind listen to a whole album, all of that. So, but it's an exciting challenge, and it's very difficult to make, as any musician will tell, many artists will tell you, it's very difficult to make a living out of it, and I'm not. But it's a wonderfully rewarding career from a community point of view. You do meet amazing people, and have incredible experiences. So I have no complaints.
Sorrows knows if I let you in.